Going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am Lady Nika, and y'all know this is Nonstop November, child. It's been hard for me to kind of get into Nonstop November every day since my son been home. Cause, child, I told y'all yesterday that damn sleep fairy came through, and that hoe don't seem to want to let me go. That's why my ass at home right now. But this is Nonstop November, and if I'm gonna talk about it, I'm gonna be about it. So, with that being said, today we are going to talk about letting go of your past so that you can see the beauty in your future. And I'm gonna start it off by sharing some stuff with you guys that I don't think I shared shit. I got so many damn videos in just less than a year. I don't think I told y'all this, but if I did, hell, it's a repeat. So just flow with a bitch, okay? When I was about 3 years old, my biological father and my mom relationship ended. Why it ended, I have no idea. All I know is that from the age of 5 until now, my younger brother and sister father stepped in and played the role of father for me. Now, as I grew up, after he walked away and my mom remarried, and well, they wasn't married. My mother married my younger sibling's father. My younger sibling's father. He took me on too, but as I got older, there were times where I was reminded, by members of his family that, I'm not really a member of the family, like my brother and sister. I'm the step kid. Now, they would never really say that around him, and I don't know if he actually ever said anything that, like that, but I know that is what I used to receive when I got older. When I say older, I'm talking about around like 7, 8, 9 years old. I began to understand that there was a difference between me and them, and that his family was actually their bloodline, but not mine. I was more or less just accepted, okay? And for me, that was hard, It was real hard. It used to hurt my feelings a lot of times because I wanted to fit in, I see my brother and sister going off with, my grandmother on my dad's side and my uncles on my dad's side. And they would take me, they would offer me to go. But after I heard the one conversation where it was said that, that's not really his daughter, that's just his stepdaughter, I kind of didn't want to go no more when they go off on family trips or weekend outings and things like that. I would stay home with my mama, and she would ask me, why you always don't want to go no more? You used to be the main one, want to go and hang out, but now you don't want to hang out. Well, they separated after a couple of years, and it would be weekends then where, my stepdad would come, and we would go over there. I had started going back, y'all. I was going over there, not a thing together no more. I did want to still spend time with him because he never said anything that would hurt my feelings, okay? Till when him and my mother separated, I went to his house one weekend, and I guess they were having conversations, him and his new girlfriend, and I heard him say, well, she's not really my child, but I've always taken care of her like that. So I can't just pick her up pick them up without picking her up. And as I laid there on the couch, because when we used to go over there, they had a room. They would sleep in a room with his new girlfriend and siblings. And most times I would catch the couch because I'd be wanting to watch TV. So he let me lay on the couch and stuff for the Friday and Saturday night that I would be there. Well, this particular night, I had turned off the TV, but I wouldn't sleep. I heard everything that was being said, and basically she had a problem with me. She didn't understand why I always had to come. Now, I'm laying here hearing this, right? I already had heard before from his side of the family, people saying that I didn't really belong, so I didn't want to be You know, I stopped hanging out and going to functions with them. But now I'm hearing it yet again, and it's coming from his girlfriend, and it's almost as if he's trying to make excuses for why I'm there. So after that time, I never went back to his house again. I didn't return back to his house until I was 19 years old, and that's another story for another time. But trust me, I was only there like 4 months, and then I left again. But my mom used to ask me after that, why you don't want to go over your dad's house no more. And I just would always make up excuses, be like, well, Mama, I'd rather stay home this weekend. They don't really be doing nothing over there. It's boring, you know, all kinds of stuff. But she continued to ask, and I continued to lie. I never told her what I heard because, see, my mama was a whole lot like me in a lot of ways, you know. She was very protective of her eggs. You see how I came out of bag by mine the other day? My mama was 20 times worse than that. I knew because I had seen my mama in action before about to whoop a bitch ass when she was pregnant with my sister and brother, the twins, that brother and sister I had. Child, I remember one time my mama had got so bucked one time. She was so pissed off. My mama was like 6 or 7 months pregnant with them, and she went to whoop a bitch ass, and she was not playing. Child, when I tell you I saw my mama get down bad, now later on I realized what that shit was all about, and it made it sound like, y'all, well, there's no reason why she should do that. But when a woman disrespects a marriage, the outside the side bitch, that's the reason why my mom was going the fuck off, and she didn't just stop there, she went off on his ass too. But long story short, I started pulling myself away from him. I wasn't really interested in going on any of the shopping expeditions. I just, you know, I just got close to my mother, and that was it. You know, my mama and my grandmama, that's all I dealt with. I didn't really deal with my father anymore, or the man that I had known all those years as my father, because I felt like I was a nuisance to his life. And I remember thinking to myself, I'll never, you know, I ain't nowhere in hell I ever put myself in a position to where a man can hurt me like that again. I'll never put my children in a situation to where a man can hurt them like that again. So let's fast forward to age 13, and my mother dies suddenly around Christmas time, 1987. Okay. In actuality, my mother died December the 17th, 1987. But you know, when people die, here come all the family. Well, with all the family coming, my biological father resurfaced in my life. He resurfaced in my life with the promise that you are not alone. I'm going to be here for you. He apologized to me for the years that he had left me and built a whole new life and a new family elsewhere. And me having lost my mother, I believed him. I did. I believed him, y'all. I thought that man was for real. I thought he was really going to take on an active role in the remainder of my life and help lead and guide me. Well, that promise lasted about 6 months. And once again, he faded out of my life. And having lost my mother 6 months prior, it was like 2 deaths in 1 year. I lost my mother. 6 months later, my dad walked out of my life yet again. He no longer answered the phone calls. He didn't come by and check on me. He didn't give a damn. He went on with his life with his wife and the children that they had together. So I said, okay, at this point, I'm done. I'm not going to deal with men, period. I feel like men just deceive, they use and abuse, and they give what they want and they leave. And that's how I took it as. So I made myself a promise that no matter what, if I ever was to have children, my kids would be by the same man, be loved, and I would do everything in my power to keep that union together, because it's important that children grow up with both their father and their mother. Well, I also made myself a promise to never be vulnerable to another man. I'm not going to need a man for shit. So I started making sure I put it all right here. And that's when I stopped, really just stopped. I think that day was the day that I actually became an adult, because I left the the childhood life that I was having, going, playing with your friends, going to the mall. None of that was important to me. What was most important to me is putting as much information in my brain so that I could be a success. Being very smart in school so that I could be a success. Because if I was to ever to have children, in my mindset, I was never going to have a man to do that kind of stuff to me. And it kind of made me look at men sideways from that moment on. I didn't believe men when they said that they would be there for me. I had uncles that stepped in and tried to, on my mama's side, my uncle, we called him Papa. He stepped in and he did all he could. But at this point, I've been so devastated by the loss of my mother and felt like I lost my father as well, all over again. It wasn't really a whole lot they can do for me. And I acted out a lot. I acted out a whole lot, child. I did all kinds of stuff. I got to hustling. I mean, I was smart as fuck, but I was a hustler. Everybody in the house, my aunties and stuff that took care of me, she be around there stressing about, bills and stuff like that. Cause my mother, my auntie worked in, well, she was a domestic, she was in domestic servitude. In other words, she was a maid. So she didn't make a whole lot of money. Whereas my mother was an RN. She made very good money. So that right there in itself was a drop in how we lived, okay? So it was like, I ain't never want to depend on nobody no more. Yeah, especially men. I looked at men as the enemy. And I felt like I better get the getter before the getter get me. So I was a very difficult child, but I was a hustler. You know what I'm saying? I said to myself, okay, because my dad had started, now my siblings, their father had started slacking off on coming around and everything. It was like he wasn't concerned no more. It's like, okay, for the first few months after my mama died, he was coming around, being there for them. I didn't really need him to be there for me because I had already shut his ass off in my mind. So when I shut you off, I can talk to you, but I don't fuck with you. I ain't going nowhere with you. I'm not going to expect nothing from you. I'm going to do me, you do you. So, I seen that my aunt didn't have the money. Well, she had it. I don't want to throw no family member under no, but let me just put it this way. Monies were available, but the monies were not used appropriately to take care of the kids that she left behind. My mother's money went, a lot of it, toward helping her children, her kids she had, although they were grown. Every last one of them was grown. I think like the youngest one was like maybe 25 years old. She had 7 kids. And they were grown, but our monies was being used to help fund, things for them, like paying a bill, buying baby stuff, because one of them was having a baby every few years, and not saying nothing wrong with that, because she and I was cool, and we still cool to this day, but it is what it is, and the only way I can be, tell the story is to tell it like it really went. So if it offends anybody, I'm sorry, but this is a part of my liberation, and I'm not gonna lie to kick it. So it is what it is. A lot of the money that was allotted, a lot of the money that was set up for me and my brother and sister, we never received it because it went toward helping other people and what they had going on, and that's what happened. So me seeing this here, now I'm 13 going on 14, I'm peeping this shit. So I started being badder than I normally was. I was doing shit like sneaking out the house. Child, I was in them street hustling. I was selling dope. I was running with thug niggas. I was hanging out with older cats that would protect me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess I had a guardian angel on my shoulder all that time because nothing ever bad really happened to me out there. I made my money. I got my respect. You understand? Because it wasn't nothing for me to cap off. You know what I'm saying? And when I cap off, I always had the old heads on the streets, in the streets, that looked out for me because they respected my hustle. So when she would be in the house stressing stressing about a bill, it wasn't nothing for me to come out my bra with a couple $1,000 and just throw some money at her. She was wondering why the hell I got it like that. I would never tell her. They used to try to come at me wrong and shit and fuck with me bad because they said that, I was just being defiant. Now I was trying to survive because that wasn't just making their money. I was taking care of my brother and sister. I made sure that they had clothes to go to school in, shoes to go to school in, money in their pocket. I made sure I looked out for my brother and sister because I promised my mother that I would always look out for my sister and brother. And I kept my promise. Trust and believe. I kept my promise all the way up until them twins turned 39 years old. I've given them place to live when they needed to. I've given food. I have paid bills. I kept my promise to my mother that I was going to look out for my sister and brother. But as I became a woman, I realized I had issues with men. And the issues were of trust and abandonment. Because I felt like if my own father didn't care enough about me to keep it 100 and tell me why he left my life or to stay in my life, then what man would? And for many years, even through my marriage, because as you all know, I had married early, even through my marriage, that was a major thing. I never knew how to just sit back, relax, and let him take care of stuff. I was always strong. I was always trying to make sure I got my own just in case some shit popped out. I lived my life on the what if factor. What if he decide he don't love me no more? What if he decide he want to walk out? What if he take all the money and I can't support these children? So I always placed myself in a situation to where I could take care of me and mine with or without a man. That's a good thing, but it's a bad thing at the same time because it has caused me now as I'm entering, my 40s and stuff. I have issues with. Now I feel like I'm ready for, a relationship, and I know my role. I know how to be, let him feel like, no, it don't matter how much he make. If he treat me right, I'm down with it. But now that I am so strong and I've been this person for so long, I don't be willing to put up with nothing. And in any relationship, you're going to have your obstacles in your relationships. It depends on how much y'all love each other and how y'all communication is as to whether or not it'll be a success. And for me, that don't work like that for me, y'all. I'm more or less the type of person, the first sign of bullshit, deuces. I have zero tolerance for bullshit, and that ain't always the best way to be if you want to be out. Now, for me, it worked. But if you're a young lady out here that wants to one day have a man in your life and maybe have children, don't be strong. I'm not saying be no weak hoe. Hell no, be a strong bitch. But don't allow your desire to be independent and strong stop you from being able to let a man be a man to you if he needs to be, if that's what he wants to be. Don't be so quick to, I make this amount of money and he make that and I don't need him for shit. Because all you're going to do is drive a motherfucker off. Deal with those demons from your past if you want to be able to see yourself in a more happier future going forward. You can't carry the hurts of your past into your future and expect a good outcome. It's just not going to come. Sometimes we got to sit down and talk about, and maybe it may be through friends, clergy, or a therapist. You need to address what happened to you as a child, because sometimes things that happen to us as kids spill over into our adult life, and that's not a good thing if you somebody that wants to be in a relationship, wants to have children. You got to deal with your past. And I'm going to tell you something. It's not true that there ain't no good men out here. It's still some very good black men out here right now. But I tell you what a man don't want. A man ain't no man I know gonna pay for what another man did to you. He not gonna do it. and you'll run a man off. A man will recognize that shit and run from you so fast because he don't feel like he should have to deal with your baggage. You have to learn how to let go of whatever it was that happened to you. Express it, accept it, face that shit, and keep it moving. Especially if you want to move forward and have children and a marriage one day. You're going to have to let go of whatever it was that happened in your past, or you will have to remain, sort of kind of like how I be a lot of time. And as I'm giving you this advice, I'm getting revelations as well. I understand where I've gone wrong in the past. I understand where I went wrong. Yeah, I got broke up with last week by text message. That's a whole nother story, and I'm telling y'all about that too. That's gonna be one of my story times next week to make y'all kiki, because it was kind of funny. But then again, it goes back to what I'm saying. If I hadn't still been in that frame of mind that I was in, that I gotta take care of everything, I gotta be strong, I can't ask nobody for nothing, I ain't gonna ask nobody for nothing, then maybe that relationship would still be ongoing. I mean, a man is only, you might, just because you ain't calling them pussy punks and motherfuckers don't mean that you ain't emasculating him in a certain kind of way. I don't know no man that don't want to do right by his woman. Now, I'm talking about men. I ain't talking these boys. I ain't talking these motherfuckers want to stay with you in your Section 8 housing and help you with your food stamps and all that shit like that. No, I'm talking about men. Men who really want to be a part of your life and know how to take care of you. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. All them leads, okay? All of them. You got to learn how to let some stuff go, child. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn how to deal with your past. Because if you want a healthy, bright future for yourself, you want children, you want to be married, you can't be toting that baggage. Because any good, real man is going to notice that. That is going to be a fucking flag, a red flag to him. And he going to flee from your ass. There are still good black men out here. And they do want to be with a black woman. It's just a lot of us don't know how to let go of hurts from the past. You can't take that baggage from another situation into your current situation and expect something positive. If you're attracting bad situations all the time, it's something inside of you that keeps attracting that type of person. If it's physical abuse, verbal abuse, it's something about you that attracts those type of men. It ain't just because, child, you can only blame a man for so long before you have to start turning the spotlight and that mirror on you to see that it's not necessarily him. He fucked up, but what about you that's so fucked up that makes him come to you? These type of men come to you. Sometimes it's you. It really is. And a lot of times we as women, we carry so much hurt in our lives, especially if we didn't have that father figure that told us years ago that we were beautiful, we were special, and he stood by you and didn't let you get played by no boy. Nigga knew to come to your house, respectful, all of that. If you ain't never had that in your life, child, you don't know what you out here, what you up against. So we be out here basically trying to turn our boyfriends into our fathers, or our husbands into our fathers, and that's not what he is. He's your boyfriend. He's your husband. You got to deal with your daddy issues. You got to deal with your abandonment issues, because you have a whole life to live. A whole life. And I don't believe that God will put you on this earth to let you just constantly go through time and time again. I believe that he allows us to go through certain things to pull us closer to him. And sometimes we don't understand what he's saying. But if you just be still, you will hear him. People be looking at me crazy when I say I hear the Lord speaking to me sometimes. Child, I used to wonder, when I used to hear people say that, I'd be like, yeah, the Lord talked to you. Until I was about 33 years old. God will speak to you just like I'm speaking to you through this video. And you will hear it as clear as day, just like you hear me through this video. But you have to open up your heart to it. Go to him for real and ask him to remove that pain, and sometime he gonna guide you to somewhere else where he has set it up for you to be okay at. It may be through going to talk to your pastor, talk to a friend, talk to a therapist. He may lead you, and maybe the first therapist don't work, go get you a nudge. You're not put on this earth to have to go through change after change. Yes, we were promised trials and tribulations, but we also had a promise of things getting better. If we just believe in him, ourselves, it's gonna be all right. And we as women sometimes tend to forget that shit. We don't know how to go to him. Child, ain't no right way to go to him. It ain't no right and wrong way to do it. If you feel like you going through something and you want, you want some answers, you want some peace of mind, you want some deliverance, just start a conversation with him. Just like y'all have conversations with people every day. That's the same way you can talk to God. He don't need no child. And the beauty of God is, you ain't got to have no education to talk to him. I don't have to have a master's degree to talk to him. I don't have to have come from, silver spoons and shit out of my mouth born like that to have a conversation with him. He reigns on the greatest, well, the just as well as the unjust. He don't have no certain person that he will minister to. He here for all of us if we just open up our hearts, minds, and souls and allow him to come in and do his will in our lives. Stop trying to make it about you, make it about him, and you'll find yourself feeling a whole lot better. And I know it's a lot of people I've heard say that they don't feel like you people should get on YouTube and preach. Well, click the fuck off my video, because this is where I'm going with this. I know what brought me to where I'm at today. I tell y'all this stuff all the time, not because I'm a Bible thumper. Hell no, I fall short of the glory of God every day. Child, I'm Job. I die every day. But I'm blessed. Even when I'm going through my worst. Right now, y'all wouldn't know that I'm going through something right now, because I don't look like I'm going through something. Y'all might think, oh, her son home, everything is peaches and cream. No, the fuck it ain't, y'all. I'm facing some shit just next week. Got me shaking like a motherfucker. Hell, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. But God going to see me through. He gonna see me through. I got the faith that I'm gonna come through it. I don't know where I'm gonna get this what I need next week from, but I just know some kind of way God gonna make a way for me and my family so that we don't have to suffer or any discomforts in our home. And he been doing it for the longest. He done seen me through this boy incarceration. He seen me through these lupus flares. He done seen me through heart attacks. He seen me through a stroke. He seen me through a divorce. He seen me through being in an abusive relationship. He seen me through people coming on this YouTube channel trying to comfort me, treat me wrong, and see me for not for who I am, but for who they assume that I am. He see me through a lot of stuff. So I know what I'm facing right now is only going to be a testimony that I'm going to share with y'all at some point in time. Because y'all just don't know. I'm going through something right now. I really am. I got something going on next week. Child, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I know this. God didn't bring me this far to see me fall down, and he gonna make a way. He gonna protect this house because I pray for it every day. He gonna protect me because I pray for it every day. He gonna protect you because I pray for each and every one of y'all every day. I might not know your names individually, and I might not talk to you individually on no cell phones and house phones and through the computer. But trust and believe, I pray for each and every one of y'all, because if it wasn't for y'all, I couldn't sit here today and have the subscriber count that I got. I know that I have an anointment on my life. I just didn't understand that at the beginning. I was angry because I wanted to come down here and cook a couple meals, and I wasn't able to do that. And be open to accepting people's help. You can't fucking do everything by yourself. You can't do everything by yourself. Sometimes you need help. Sometimes you need help with family members that you trying to take care of that's sick. Child, if that family member got a disability, the state has a program. And I checked before I made this video. You can get home health care that the state will pay for to come into your home from 8 to 12 hours a day to allow you woosah time so that you can breathe, time to have a life of your own, and time to have a job. And I don't think that it's wrong that if you turn and you go and ask for that kind of help, it's not wrong for you to ask for that kind of fucking help, because you a person and you got a life too. You can't just always be under pressure, because pressure busts pipes. So imagine what it do to the human brain. You gonna have to open up and let people help you out, baby. I'm talking to somebody out here today. I had to tell Sean that. Because we have so much pride, we don't want to ask nobody for nothing. Or we feel like we can't accept it because it's not coming from a family member. Baby, sometimes family members come in various forms. Blood don't make you family. Always. Sometimes it's that blood that'll stab you in your back quicker. Accept help. If you got somebody saying, I'm willing to step in and help you out and let you have a breather, accept that. You don't know where God is sending your help from. You around here feeling like, I gotta stay here, I gotta do this because I owe this to this person, and all along somebody trying to help you, and it ain't nothing but an angel that God has sent to you, and you turning it down, Gary. What's wrong with you? Don't turn down no help, because you don't know where it's coming from. God ain't going to come knock on your door in his form, because he's not ready to reveal himself to us yet. But he sends people in his name to help you. Look at him. He sent me here right now for you. Because I saw your video. I ain't going to put you out there, but I seen the video. It don't make no sense for you to carry that. Let that go, baby. Let that go. There are good men out here, and you do have an opportunity to reach and have a marriage and children. It ain't too late. But you ain't never gonna get that. You can't fly when you got a lot of shit holding you down. How many times I'm gonna tell y'all that? You gotta let go of your past hurts, them bad relationships. You gotta stop worrying about what happened in the past, and stop wearing your heart and all your problems on your fucking chest, because a man will see that shit. And if he ain't strong and understand you from the gate, he not gonna even want to stick around for it, because he gonna think it's more than he can bear. Get you right so that that's not all over your face when he meets you. And pray for him, and he will be given unto you. You wasn't put here to go through no changes, honey. You wasn't put here to go through no changes. Sure wasn't. You wasn't. You was here to learn how to become a better you through him. You gotta let stuff go. And you gotta learn how to accept help. Because if you don't, then you gonna die in this world. You're gonna leave this world miserable. And wouldn't it be a damn shame to have lived all that time and not have some form of happiness in your life? This is Nonstop November, vlog number 10, I do believe. And I am Lady Nika. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.